Okay, today's episode is actually about speaking your truth and freedom of speech. I know you're thinking, what does this have to do with reversing or healing MS, Adrienne? But hear me out. Once you figure out that you can heal yourself and you do it, I want you to tell other people. This is so important. I want you to get this word out. And this has got me fired up even more due to the fact that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And this is not political, I promise. And I'm not going to tell you whether I'm a liberal or conservative or libertarian or anything in between. This has to do with freedom of speech, and we should not be afraid to talk about our own truth and what we know and what our beliefs are. So keep listening. I hope this gets you fired up too. Are you struggling with multiple sclerosis, or you have a loved one who's been diagnosed and you're searching for more answers outside your typical medical system? You're not alone. Your intuition is telling you there's more information out there, and you're right. Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, author, and speaker. I'm also somebody who has reversed and healed all of my own MS symptoms and can get you there too. Are you ready to dive in? I am. Let's go. Okay, as you keep listening to today's episode, you either have a belief or you're curious, and that's a really good state to be in. And maybe you're not in full belief that you can heal yet, but I'm going to give you some names and you can reach out to those people and ask them about their journey. And before I go on here, if you do believe that you can get well and you need some support, reach out to me, info@nourishyourway.com. We can have a 15-minute session and you can ask me questions about my program and how I can help you reverse your disease, because you can do it. But anyway, let me get back to the subject here. The assassination of Charlie Kirk has really got me thinking. It's taught me something. It's taught me that I need to keep speaking my truth, because freedom of speech is so important. And I don't want anybody to be in fear of speaking their own truth, because we need to speak out more often and speak about our beliefs and what we know. And I'll be honest, I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until my husband told me about it. I don't listen to the news very often. I think it's very negative, and I feel, it's my belief, that the media is putting out information that's not always truthful and that's negative. And I just stopped watching it because it didn't make me feel good. You know, if they had more positive stories and negative stories, I'd be watching the news way more often. And I know we have a ton of positive stories that are not put out there. Anyway, okay, off that subject, back to MS and how you can heal it. But this assassination of Charlie, and I've gone back and I've listened to a few of his videos. He's got some great ideas. I don't believe in everything that he talked about, but he stood up for himself and he backed up himself intelligently. And he listened to anybody who wanted to ask him a question. And he always backed it up with evidence and his belief system. And I'm all about that. And he wasn't violent, but he stood up for what he believed in. And that's what I'm about. And I think this is going to start a revolution. And it's going to get more people standing up and speaking their truth. It's certainly gotten me thinking about it. You know, I'm always learning. All of us are always learning. And think of your most brilliant professors that you know. They are always learning too. And you know, we've got two emotions really. There's love or fear. So it's a positive emotion and a negative emotion. And when you think of all positive emotions, they should bring you back to love. And all negative emotions bring you back to fear. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Anger. That's really a form of fear that's covered up by anger. And we all get angry sometimes. I'll give you a kind of a funny example. I have a cat, and every morning she normally will lay on the kitchen table and she'll be all cute and she'll snuggle up next to my husband. And this is just what she does pretty much every morning. And he loves it. But a couple of days ago, she reached her paw up for no reason at all and clawed his upper lip pretty violently. I don't know why she did that. And it caused my husband's lip to bleed. It was a pretty big gash. And so I was angry. He was angry. I was angry. Like, how can she do that? And so this anger really is a cover up of fear because I'm fearful that she's going to do that again, right? So I was angry about that. All right, so here's another example having to do with MS Facebook pages. I remember I posted a couple of things and it was very simple. There was one post that I did on one Facebook group, and it was a video of myself. And it was showing everybody how to make a green smoothie and how powerful this drink is with a ton of nutrients that will help you heal. And I got a lot of negative feedback from it. I had people reach out to the admin and say, hey, admin, you need to delete this lady's post because she's bonkers. You can't heal MS with drinking a smoothie. And that wasn't my point. My point was start drinking green smoothies to boost your health so you can get on the way to start healing your MS. That's just one tactic. There's a lot of different foods you can eat to start healing. And there's a lot of other things that you can do to start healing. That was just one habit that can really get you on your way. And there's some of you listening to this that might not believe that you can heal yet, and that's okay. You know, you're listening because you want more information. And I want you to do your own research. I want you to use AI. I want you to Google maybe some other people who have also healed and reversed their MS symptoms. In fact, I'm going to name off a bunch of people who you can contact if you want, because they're all in a book that I wrote, and I'm not trying to sell you a book, but in case you're curious, it's called The Path to Reverse Multiple Sclerosis Naturally. And I wrote it because I had this idea of getting out a book and getting other people's stories in there about them healing from MS, just like I did. And there's only one person who I interviewed who reversed her MS symptoms, and she doesn't want me to give out her information. But all these other people that I'm going to name, they all don't mind because most of them are either health coaches or they're in the wellness field, or they want to share how they got well. There's more and more of us out there. And when you finally heal, you're going to want to do the same thing because there's going to be something inside of you that wants to share it. And you're going to want to help other people. So here are a list of names of people in my book. And again, I'm not trying to sell a book, but if you want to email me at info@nourishyourway.com, I will give you these people's information. They won't mind. They will gladly share their story with you. So here we go. Besides myself, Allison Marvin, she's a good friend of mine. She also lives in Colorado. She also healed herself from MS. Ryan Coe, Allison Brown, Talia Harborer, Tracy Hill, Andrea Thomas, she lives in the UK, Kelly Green Alderin, Matt Rowe, Melissa Rose, and Jordan Knight. All of these people are in my book, and their story is in my book on how they healed. They all did their own journey. And some of them were on drugs or meds for years before they figured out, oh my God, I can heal myself. That's how I was. We are conditioned to believe that we cannot heal MS, but we can. Your doctors don't know this. Most of them don't, because they have trained to dole out medication. Most of them, very little of them, go through any diet and lifestyle training throughout their medical journey. And guess what? Big Pharma gives a lot of grants to these schools to promote the drugs and teach the doctors how to prescribe the drugs. And I promise you that you can heal without being on medication. Here's another thing about medication that I think it's kind of funny. Think about this for a second. When you're watching TV, and I don't watch TV very often, you see the commercials come on, and you'll get one commercial on a new drug from a drug company, whether it's for MS or diabetes or Crohn's disease or Hashimoto's or something else. And then the next commercial is from a fast food chain like pizza or Burger King or Arby's or something that we know is not healthy for us, right? And this is what the fast food restaurants want, right? They want you to buy their fried food and inflammatory food. It's fast. They want to make money, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of these commercials. They want you to buy more food from them. And then the pharmaceutical companies come out with their new drug. Gosh, there's always a new drug, and they're always named something funny, like Ambien, or I'm just making this up, or Zofulate, or whatever. They're weird names. And then they have actors, and they look so happy doing what they're doing, like they're on a camping trip and they're with their kids and they're joyful and they're fishing and they're doing all these fun activities. And they make you feel like you need to buy that drug. And what's also funny is, and thank God these drug companies have to tell you what the side effects of these drugs are. And during this portion of the commercial, you should notice next time a drug commercial comes on, watch what happens in that commercial as the voiceover comes on and tells you about all the side effects. Usually these actors are doing something really fun and engaging, and they want you to engage in that rather than hear all these terrible side effects this drug can do. And you hear side effects like constipation, weight gain, diarrhea, nausea, upset stomach. And then they also have to say, one in 50 people may be prone to adopting something else or getting another disease because they're taking this. And sometimes they say might even cause death. Ask your doctor if death is good for you. Ask your doctor if nausea and all these other side effects are good for you. Gosh, I just roll my eyes when these drug commercials come up, because I just think in my own mind, like, they're not needed. Ignore it. And it lights a fire inside of me. And because these drugs have all these side effects, that is your body telling you, hey, this is not good for me. This drug is not what I want. And it's really not. There's a person that I follow, and his name is Dr. Ardis, and he has a podcast. It's Dr. Ardis, Ardis. And I love how he talks about all these different diseases and how they're healable or curable. And he talks about all these different drugs that cause all these other symptoms and even death when people start taking these drugs and not getting to the root of the problem and heal them naturally, or heal them with herbal solutions or supplement solutions. I encourage you to listen to his podcast. So getting back to the drug companies, they want to instill fear into you, and they train the hospitals and the medical schools to train the doctors to prescribe the drugs. And I need to disclose here that I'm not against all drugs. I am not. We need some, like we might break a bone and we need surgery and we need to be put under. We need painkillers for sure. We need aspirin. We need antibiotics once in a while. And there's some drugs that I know I'm not touching on that I'm sure we need. But most drugs for diseases are not helping you. The doctors are trained to tell you, hey, especially with MS, hey, if you take this drug, it should stop your progression. It's not going to heal you. It's not going to help you get better, but it's going to help you from getting worse. That's what the doctors are trained to tell you. And eventually, our health system is going to change. Doctors, eventually, in the future, they're going to tell you that diet and lifestyle is going to help you get better. And most of the time will heal you. And that is if you don't wait too long. Don't wait until you're on your deathbed before you can start healing your disease naturally. Start as soon as you can. Think about this. What if, start today. Try it for 30 days. Change your diet. Do a paleo diet for 30 days and see how you feel. Now, there's more to this than just diet. It's mental and emotional health. It's also self-care, and it's also exercise. This is what I teach in my program. I've had positive results from people who have taken it. And healing is a journey. Think about how long it had taken you to get sick. Probably years. And most people that are diagnosed with MS probably have had it for years before they finally got that diagnosis. I know that my first episode started when I was 28 years old. And then magically, those symptoms went away. And then life went on, and they didn't come up again until 17 years later. And that's when I developed that blind spot in my eye. And I got to tell you guys again, I healed that blind spot. I had no idea I could heal a blind spot in my eye. That was what I was most surprised at. I healed everything else. I healed my numbness. I healed my brain fog. I healed my Hermite sign. That's when you tilt your head forward and you get that weird electric buzzing or shock throughout your body. And then my fatigue went away. Everything is healable. You just have to put in the work. So getting back to Charlie Kirk, it has lit a fire inside of me because I need to get this out to as many people as I can, because there's this deep feeling and knowing within my soul that I have to get this out. And I want you to do your homework. Don't take my word for it. Research this. Go to Google. Ask Google to come up with some other books you can read to make you a believer that you can heal MS. Or go to AI and ask AI how many people are claiming that they've healed from MS or are claiming they've reversed their MS diagnosis. It'll tell you, and then get in touch with those people. But this is my truth. And if I can heal myself, anybody can do this. And everybody can. You've got to believe it. But again, do your research. And once you've read a bunch of other stories and talked to some other people who have reversed their MS, that should give you a big clue that you can heal yourself as well. So I believe in you, and I'm behind you, and healing is a journey, but you can do it. Don't quit. And if you want to get on my insider list, I will send you an email weekly with more information on how to heal. So just go to the show notes and sign up for my newsletter. And you can also join my Facebook group. It's called MS Support, Heal and Reverse Multiple Sclerosis. I've got a ton of information on there too, and you can pop in and ask questions. I've got over 2,000 people that are members. So again, go to the show notes and join. I'd be happy to have you. Are you on the fence and wondering if you can heal and would like some support from somebody who's been in your shoes? You can absolutely heal, and I can walk you through my 12-week program. Change is hard, but I've made it much easier to modify your dietary habits and other lifestyle changes like body movement, emotional health, and self-care. I'm with you all the way, so just hop onto my website, nourishyourway.com, and navigate to the Work With Me page. You can either sign up there or apply for a 30-minute free call with me if you have any questions. Taking action is the first step, and I'm behind you. Also, if you like this podcast, please share it to somebody else who might be struggling. I'm so happy to be a guiding light for you. and I'll be back in a few days.